What's going on, guys? Jacob Ober here, coming with my reactions to Game 3 of Toronto versus Milwaukee Eastern Conference Finals. Toronto takes this one in double overtime, 118 to 112. Initial thoughts after this game. This loss hurts a lot. I mean, as a Bucks fan, it really does. And I thought we had them at the end. I thought we were actually going to win in both overtimes. I thought going into both overtimes we were going to win the game. But, I mean, the Raptors played about as hard and as good as they could have. And this game went to double overtime. They had the crowd behind them. Kawhi took over in the end. Giannis played his worst game of the playoffs. Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe combined to go 6 for 32. I mean, you're just not gonna see that every night. It's just like Game 1 where I was talking about how the Bucks played bad and they found a way to win. The Bucks have played bad 2 out of 3 games in the series. The one time they played good, they dismantled the Raptors in Milwaukee. If they play even semi-good, they win this series, or they win this game by double digits. And if they didn't miss, 11 free throws, they won this game in regulation. I mean, Toronto played a heck of a game, and they had their backs against the wall, because if they lost this game, the Bucks were going to win the series. Now it's a little bit more interesting, but the Bucks still have a 2-1 series advantage. They played awful in their one loss. Toronto expended as much energy as you could possibly expend to get a victory, and it still took them double overtime, and the Bucks still have a 2-1 advantage, and we play again in 2 days. And Giannis played his worst game of the playoffs, and Chris Middleton had 9 points on, 3 of 16 shooting, and Bledsoe had, 14 points on 3 of 16 shooting. This isn't going to keep up. I mean, it's just, the percentages say otherwise. The analytics say otherwise. Playing Kawhi 52 minutes. Good luck. Good luck winning games like that. I mean, they did tonight. They did. I give them credit. I give the Raptors full credit, and they are a very good basketball team. But also, outside of Norman Powell, they got absolutely 0 contributions for the bench. Van Vliet had 1 3, I think, and that was about it. Ibaka, I think, had 5 points. But Norman Powell was the only guy who even showed up off the bench for the Raptors, and he played phenomenal. He was He hit 4 or 5 threes off the bench, had 19 points. Everything went right in this game for the Raptors. Everything that they could have had gone right in this game went right. And everything that could have gone wrong for the Bucks in this game, they shot really bad. Giannis had a terrible game. Bledsoe and Middleton had terrible games. Brook Lopez didn't get enough touches. And it still went to double overtime. On the road with that Toronto crowd, which was as hyped up as ever. I mean, good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck winning games consistently like that, Toronto. Maybe they even win in Game 4. Who knows? But they expended a lot of energy in this game. They really did. And not to mention, there were some iffy calls both ways. I don't want to say that it really helped either or team, but there were some iffy calls, and there was 1 or 2 down the stretch that definitely helped Toronto propel their lead in double overtime. But I'm not really going to focus on that because the Bucks would have won this game had it not been for their horrible shooting and Giannis playing his worst game of the playoffs. And I'd argue even his worst game since back in December when he had 9 points against the Heat. But, I mean, we know how Giannis responds to poor performances like this. We know how this Bucks team responds to poor performances. They don't lose back-to-back games very often. Remember that. I mean, how many times have they done it this year? Once. They lost back-to-back games this year once. That's it. So, Game 4 is going to be on Tuesday. And I don't know who's going to win. If the Bucks have any one of Bledsoe, Middleton, or Giannis show up tonight, they would have won this game, and they might have won by double digits. If they didn't shoot 30% from 3, if they didn't miss 10 or 11 free throws, if the Raptors didn't get an exceptional performance out of Marc Gasol, who hit 4 or 5 3-pointers, Kawhi Leonard, you can't really say if for that because Kawhi Leonard is great as he is. If Norman Powell didn't have 4 or 5 3-pointers as well and have 19 points off the bench, I mean, the Bucks bench was phenomenal tonight. 24 points from Hill, 20 from Brogdon. And Bledsoe was terrible. Bledsoe was awful. He was making mental mistakes all over the court. That's got to be addressed before next game. It really does. I don't know if it warrants a lineup change or not. I don't really think it does at this point. Maybe if he strings together a couple of these performances. Obviously, I think Malcolm Brogdon was better, but I do think that the offense flow was better with Bledsoe running the point and Brogdon at shooting guard. Mirotic really wasn't a huge factor in this game either. Neither was Lopez. I mean, there just really wasn't a whole lot of guys starting for Milwaukee that had much of an impact on this basketball game. And the Raptors had a lot of guys play really well in this game. Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, Marc Gasol, Siakam played pretty well. Of course, he missed the 2 free throws that sent it to overtime. But, I mean, like I said, just think about it. Think of all the things that happened in this game. Think of all the performances that happened in this game. Nobody on the Bucks besides Hill and Brogdon stepped up. Everybody on the Raptors stepped up, including Gasol, who had 4 3-pointers, including Norman Powell, who had 4 3-pointers. Kawhi, you have to live with Kawhi stepping up because he's just such a great player. Gasol, I mean, I just don't think the Raptors are going to get this kind of game again. Like, they had a very similar game in Game 1, and the Bucks were able to win that game, likely because they had the home court advantage. But this time around, Toronto had the home court advantage. Like I said, I mean, the Bucks aren't going to play like this every single game. So if I'm a Raptors fan, I'm happy with the win tonight. I'm happy that my team pretty much stayed alive. They saved their season with this win. But now you have to wind it back, do it all over again in 2 days after pretty much all of your starters played 50 or more minutes. And you got exceptional performances from guys who have been very, very bad in the playoffs this year, for the most part, or at least in this series. So, I mean, my prediction before the series started was Bucks in 6. So, in order to win in 6, you have to lose a couple games, and this was one of them. Maybe they even win in 5, who knows. But anyways, guys, though, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments section below about this game. Do the Bucks bounce back in Game 4, or do the Raptors get back and tie the series in Game 4? Leave your comment in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Fear the deer.